Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Today, we are going to be doing another Master's Guide on the brand new God of Destruction Toppo attacker character in Dragon Ball GEKISHIN SQUADRA. Now, first things first, I do want to say that the way that this works is we discuss first the skills, how to utilize the skills with the most appropriate strategies, and then we go over the build at the end and the most optimal way to actually use the character, with some clips and stuff sprinkled in the mix. If you guys have not seen these before, I do have an entire playlist in the description down below where you guys could check out maybe the Master's Guide on your favorite character. So, let's go ahead and dip into it. So, God of Destruction Toppo with a difficulty modifier that says 0. This is an absolute freaking lie, yet again, with another character that actually requires a little more than just some punching. He is an incredible character, I have to say, more unique than others, but in terms of skill, you're going to need a little bit in order to use him. First things first, we're going to be talking about his passive. I won't be fighting for justice any longer. Now, he has this ability to put a very unique mark called the Mark of Destruction, which is a dot damage like a poison or like a bleed effect. And it is very, very impressive because it actually is a more unique status effect in the game, which means that it's not easily shaken off. What's so cool about this is that whenever you actually utilize it, you're running at the person that has the Mark of Destruction. You can chase them down much easier because you get a movement speed buff. Issue with the movement speed buff is that you can still be stunned, and it is affected by Android 17's debuff, like negator. So if you guys are trying to like chase someone like that, do be careful. Do not get yourself jumped because you decided to get cocky. Okay. The effect of it actually deals a lot of damage per stack. So you could continuously stack this thing until the person is dead. It doesn't really have a limit to stacks, but I'm telling you, if you can get 4 to 5 stacks on somebody, that pretty much says that that person's probably going to end up dying very quickly, which means you probably won't be able to get any further stacks-wise. His rush attack is quite unique. So it actually extends the duration of Mark of Destruction and shortens the cooldown of your skills. So if you already used your skills, you can continue spamming your skills like someone like Piccolo, who also has the same type of effect. A very, very cool effect. Destructive Flash. Now, this move actually is the one that we decided is the least prioritized. And by the way, when I say we, I mean me and Nexus. Nexus was with me when I was actually testing out these builds, and we came down to the idea of how the strategy should be played and how the build should be made. And we are very, very happy with the conclusion. Now, with Destructive Flash, it does mark the destruction mark easy. It's a quick, easy mark of destruction, but it should be utilized in terms of just stacking marks, not in terms of combat itself. It doesn't do a lot of damage, and it's very dodgeable, a very thin line. So it's like the last skill you should actually be leveling up at the very end of the game. Demolition Tornado. This one is very impressive. So this one only gives you the Mark of Destruction one time, but this one also does more damage depending on how many marks of destruction are actually on the person. So very, very impressive. Also, it is a physical damage skill, not like the others, which are energy-based. And you can actually continuously stack marks as well. And this is also the skill that we would prioritize first on Toppo's kit. The reason why is because it has a lot of crowd control, AoE, wave clear. It does a lot, and it's a very impressive and very strong move that does a lot of multi-hit damage and tears through things like barrier and other really ridiculous defensive traits in the game, which are it's just very impressive that this is a most aggressive playstyle. Sphere of Destruction, Tempered. Now, this one is very, very fun, very, very unique. Now, the way that this works is that you actually stand into a fighting stance, and if anybody attacks you, you will automatically shoot a little Mark of Destruction on top of them, depending on how much damage they do to you. Fun fact, this can hit multiple enemies within the area, so you can actually strike a bunch of people around you, not just the one. And also, if you are soaking up damage, this will return all that damage back to the back to sender. So it's very, very dope. The only issue is that this will give you extra HP, but it only truly defends from energy defense. So if they are using something like physical attacks like Meteor Hammer and stuff like that, you are still going to take the full force of that, not like with, you know, some energy-based moves. Same thing with, obviously, M1s, because rush attacks, most rush attacks are physical. It also applies Mark of Destruction. It is an auto aim skill, by the way, too, so you don't have to aim it at all. As long as they hit you, it will shoot right back at them. His ultimate, which is the Sphere of Destruction, this thing is really, really crazy. It actually has a finishing impact right after it actually hits the ground. If you pay attention, it will strike twice. So once it lands on top of somebody, it's going to multi-hit for a little bit, then it's going to explode at the very, very end. It deals a lot of extra damage if the person has the Mark of Destruction. When hit with the explosion, the entire Mark of Destruction stack will be consumed to deal extra damage. So it will deal more damage the more stacks are on the person. So this is like your end-all be-all move if you really just want to end everybody around you. And there are very impressive ways to do this. I do want to talk about what are the most optimal combos to actually deal with everybody before we get into the build itself. So, the most appropriate way to actually be discussing this character is by using Demolition Tornado. This tornado move is going to be able to help you farm and put many stacks on multiple people, not just someone who's in front of you. After that, using something like Spear of Destruction is going to save you time and energy and also HP in order to attack your enemies back at them. You can trick your enemies into attacking you by starting over with Demolition Tornado, forcing them to engage you, and then using Spear of Destruction in order to return everything they try to hit you with right back at them, doing plenty of damage and also continuing your marks of destruction. Now, with Destructive Flash, you can also add on to it and add even more stacks. And if you just want to end the combo right there, which will do a crap ton of damage if you use Massive Sphere of Destruction, it is very useful to do that as well. Now, one thing I do want to discuss is that this Mark of Destruction actually works incredibly well against bosses too. So, if we're going to be discussing about this character in general, I just want to bring up the fact that it does work incredibly well against bosses. And he actually is an absolute boss shredder. So, very, very impressed on that. But that's not the type of build we are going to be making today. The build we're actually going to be going with today is going to be Super Snowball, because obviously we want to stack as much damage as possible. Even if we are working off the stacks, we still want to do as much damage as possible. Next, this is actually one of the only characters that we found that works incredibly well with Barrier. Now, let me explain why. So with Barrier, you are deflecting a lot of damage, but keep in mind this character is like Android 17, who has self-sustain. So with that, you also have a counter that you could proc after being hit with a skill. So let's say that they break through your barrier with their M1s or through one crappy skill, then they're about to throw their ultimate at you or some type of crazy skill. You can instantly come back using the counter attack and beam them with every single thing that they hit you with, making it a very lopsided battle. One issue with that, by the way, if you are Toppo and a Toppo eats your counter with his counter, that counter will be doubled and sent right back to you, and you will probably lose that encounter. Last thing, we were thinking that Wicked Warrior might be the best, but in reality, you're going to be spamming your skills a lot more, making Pursuer do quite a bit of damage. Landing 2 skills on a hero within 2 seconds just does so much extra damage and is very, very useful compared to Wicked Warrior, because we do not want to be standing in place M1ing someone like we're Kale or like we're Khalifa or like we're Vegeta. It just doesn't work in that way. This character wants to be in and out as quickly as possible, and he wants to be engaging everyone with the end-all be-all skills. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and all that fun stuff. I'll see you guys in a future video. Take it easy, and peace out.